Money has a way of shaping not just our daily choices, but the very structure of our lives, often in ways that are subtle enough to go unnoticed until patterns solidify over time. Budgeting, in its most fundamental sense, is the process of deliberately allocating resources, yet it is rarely approached with the precision and understanding it deserves. Most people intuitively think of budgeting as a restrictive measure, a set of rules designed to limit spending and enforce discipline. But in reality, it functions as a mirror, revealing patterns of behavior, preferences, and even unconscious beliefs about value and scarcity. When examined through the lens of psychology, budgeting becomes less about restriction and more about awareness, offering a structured framework that allows individuals to see the flow of money through their lives and the underlying choices that govern it. At the heart of effective money management lies the recognition that income alone does not dictate financial well-being. Two individuals with identical earnings can experience vastly different levels of financial comfort, stress, and long-term security depending on how they perceive and interact with their resources. Behavioral economics highlights this distinction, demonstrating that cognitive biases, emotional responses, and ingrained habits often override simple arithmetic. For instance, people tend to underestimate recurring small expenses, frequently discounting them as negligible while they accumulate silently to influence overall financial outcomes. These are the invisible forces that budgeting brings into focus, transforming abstract numbers into actionable insights and revealing opportunities to adjust behavior before imbalances compound. The process begins with awareness, a complete and honest accounting of income streams and expenditures, including the categories that are easy to overlook. This entails recording not only the major predictable obligations, such as rent or mortgage payments, utilities, and loan repayments, but also the seemingly minor discretionary spending on meals, subscriptions, and incidental purchases. The act of cataloging expenses produces a psychological shift, a form of cognitive recognition that allows patterns to emerge. Once these patterns are visible, it becomes possible to distinguish between fixed obligations, variable needs, and discretionary desires. The distinction is critical because it illuminates the levers that can be adjusted without undermining essential well-being, revealing the balance point where one's resources align with both obligations and aspirations. Mathematics enters at this stage, translating abstract concepts into measurable outcomes. By calculating the proportion of income devoted to various categories, individuals can see precisely how financial decisions compound over time. For example, allocating 20% of monthly income to discretionary spending may seem reasonable in isolation, yet when compounded over years, small deviations accumulate, influencing the ability to save, invest, or weather unexpected challenges. The power of compounding is not limited to growth. It also operates in reverse, magnifying inefficiencies and underlining the importance of consistent, informed choices. Visualizing the numbers creates an objective reference point, reducing the influence of transient emotions on decision-making and fostering a sense of control that is often absent when finances are managed reactively. Budgeting also functions as a mechanism for behavioral conditioning. By establishing deliberate spending boundaries and saving targets, the brain begins to associate specific behaviors with measurable outcomes, gradually shifting habitual patterns toward long-term benefit. Neurological studies indicate that the brain's reward system responds not merely to consumption, but to the anticipation of security and stability, suggesting that disciplined money management reinforces a sense of autonomy and reduces the anxiety associated with uncertainty. In this context, budgeting ceases to be a restrictive practice and instead becomes an adaptive tool, enabling individuals to navigate the tension between immediate gratification and deferred satisfaction in a conscious, systematic way. A deeper layer emerges when considering systemic influences. Personal budgeting does not occur in a vacuum. It exists within economic structures that reward some behaviors and penalize others. Fees, interest rates, taxation, and inflation represent forces that subtly redirect resources over time, often disproportionately affecting those with lower financial flexibility. Understanding these mechanics allows for more precise planning. For example, recognizing how small percentage differences in interest can translate into significant long-term outcomes illuminates the importance of prioritizing certain financial choices, such as minimizing high-interest debt before optimizing discretionary spending. The intersection of individual behavior and systemic forces demonstrates that financial literacy is inseparable from an awareness of broader economic dynamics, reinforcing the necessity of an analytical, rather than purely intuitive, approach to money management. Historical parallels further reinforce these concepts, illustrating that the principles underlying money management are consistent across time, even as circumstances evolve. Periods of economic instability, such as depressions, recessions, or sudden inflationary episodes, reveal patterns of vulnerability that often stem from predictable behavioral tendencies, over-leveraging, insufficient reserves, and reactive decision-making. By studying these events, it becomes evident that effective budgeting is not merely about maximizing immediate utility, but about cultivating resilience, enabling individuals to absorb shocks without disproportionate disruption to lifestyle or long-term goals. Awareness of historical patterns complements Madham